Well, hello YouTube, Byron at Splitting Slices. Welcome back to the Knife Channel on an absolutely beautiful central Indiana Midwest morning, now almost noon. Just a beautiful, beautiful spring day, 80 degrees. I thought I would go ahead and take advantage of this day. I took the day off, which means I'm not being paid, but that's okay. We're going to get an early start on some spring cleaning, some yard work, some garage cleaning, all that good stuff, you know, the stuff you put off during the winter because it just doesn't make sense. But now with spring here, it's time to get done. But before we do that, we're going to talk about some good folks here in the community. They're undergoing some issues right now. Seems like we got more and more of them each day, but I wanted to go ahead and send some shout outs. So the first one goes up to Dave up at the Singing Toad Knife Gear and Outdoors channel. Of course, he sponsors these Thankful Thursday videos as an open tag series. And Dave's undergoing some cleanup from an ice storm that happened about 3 weeks ago up in the Ontario, Toronto area. He and neighbors are pitching in, helping each other out, trying to get the cleanup work done. So want to shout out Dave and his thanks to all of the emergency crews that came and restored power, as well as his neighbors that are helping clean up. Sometimes you got to rely on yourselves to get that stuff done. Enough said there. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, we're going to do a couple shout outs for some folks that are undergoing medical issues right now. The first one is Steve over at Bladewalker. Now, he runs a YouTube channel now called NoBullReviews, but we know him as Bladewalker lovingly. Steve spent some time in the hospital this week undergoing some medical treatment and procedures. So I'm hoping that everything went well, and I wish you, Steve, a speedy recovery and positive results from those treatments. Dirk DW runs a fantastic knife channel. Lots of high-end knives, both customs and production, mid-techs even. But Dirk, unfortunately, has spent a couple weeks, I believe, in the hospital undergoing treatment for pancreatitis. Now, I don't think he would mind me sharing that since he did a video post on his channel, but I haven't heard a status update. So, Dirk, I hope at this point you're at home, recuperating nicely, and I'm hoping that everything has gone well with your treatments. The best of luck, and get well soon, Dirk. So, take care, buddy. All right, finally, well, not finally, we got one more here, but I want to talk about a guy that kind of disappeared from the knife channel, knife community here about a year ago, and I understand why. Going through some personal demons, and all I can do is wish Jesse McJames of the Alien Outlaw the best of luck. Only thing I can tell you, buddy, is we all have demons we have to live with, and the first thing you have to do is forgive yourself in order to seek forgiveness from others. So with that said, Jesse, I wish you all the best. You always treated me with kindness, friendship, respect, and dignity, and I wish all the same for you, brother. So good luck. And finally, I want to thank a friend and wish him the best as well. My friend Michael, also known as Grumpy Grunt. Now, Michael and his roommates up in their house up in Michigan are, best thing I can say is they're trying to navigate life right now. So I wish you the best in your decisions, your alternatives, your options, and I hope you can get everything resolved, buddy. So, Michael, take care. And please call. If you ever need to talk about things, I'm here. Excuse me, folks. All right, so finally, the piece de la resistance. Talking about spring cleaning, I've got a knife to show everybody, and this comes from the Knife Junkie, Bob DeMarco. Bob runs an excellent channel. I think he's almost to 40,000 subscribers. Does a weekday supplemental on Wednesdays where he talks about his state of the collection. On Sundays, you get his podcast, interviews with knife community members and knife makers. And finally, my favorite, Thursday Night Knives, which we'll have one tonight. I believe it's the Gentleman Junkie giveaway, which is his Patreon giveaway he does once a month. So looking forward to that. So, Bob, thanks for getting this knife to me. And I hate to say it, but this knife was lost to history and time until my wife and I were doing some spring cleaning this week. And I found the Oknife Drever behind a shelving unit. It had fallen, slidden off the top shelf, fallen down behind it. Had no idea where this knife disappeared to, but I found it this week. So I thought we'd go ahead and do it for a Thankful Thursday. So let's open this knife up. Now, I opened it up once before and basically put it back in the box and was going to do a video on it, and then I lost it, so I never got the video done. So here we go. So this is what I would call a budget / affordable EDC knife. We're talking about a knife that's 4.5 inches overall handle length. We've got a 3 1/4 inch blade. So when it's opened up, it's around 7.5 to 7 3/4 inches long. And just a good budget EDC knife. So what do you got in the box? Well, we open the box up. We get a thank you from Oknife. We get their pouch with all of your paperwork and information. We get a statement from the company thanking you for the knife, and it should be sharp. And then you get the pouch with the knife and, of course, the coin that Oknife is infamous for at this point. Let's open that up. So first, the coin. Here is the bronze copper colored type coin. It says Oknife Outdoor Elite, and the tail side is a picture of the Drever knife. So pretty cool, pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and slide that back in its pocket, and let's get the knife out, shall we? And here you go, guys. Beautiful blue and black and blue budget EDC knife. Now, I would have to check the spec sheet on this. I am not sure if this is titanium, aluminum, a combination because of the anodization, or if it's a coating on this hardware collection, but you've got a really nice looking blue hardware scheme on this. The thumb studs, the pivot screw, and the pocket clip are all a beautiful blue anodization or coating on this. Now, each one I could see being a different material for the functionality, but this, what tells me this is either aluminum or a coating is the price tag. This knife is currently available on the OLight website, not the Oknife site, but the OLight website for about $71. So for that price, I'm thinking you're getting either a coating or an aluminum hardware scheme with maybe a coated pocket clip, either in steel or titanium. I find it odd that they would do aluminum, not real strong, but it could be, you know, 6061 T6 aircraft aluminum with a blue anodization to it, or coating. But we got basically G10 scales on this. Again, a 4.5 inch handle. You have flipper tab and thumb stud deployment. You have a beautiful black washed sheep's foot blade with a swedge around the tip area. You've got the billboarding of the Oknife with the N690 blade steel on this side. And if we turn the knife over, you get the Drever model number and the model name on this side. Finger choil for choking up. And some pretty decent action for a $71 knife. Now you have to break that detent by pressing in on the frame lock. Where's my hand, folks? There we go. Pressing on the frame lock, getting past that detent ball, and then the knife, just with a little shake, will fall shut. Pretty good action. But if you don't get it far enough past that detent ball and ramp, you get a little double clutch occasionally. But not bad action for a little budget knife. Again, flipper tab and thumb stud deployment. N690 steel for $71. Not the best value out there on the market, but a decent knife if you're picking up some flashlights, shopping on the OLight website, and you kind of want an extra gift knife or just add a little something to your shopping cart. Here you go. Again, this is the Oknife Drever, available on the OLight website. All right, well, that's going to do it for today. Bob, thanks for sending me that knife. Might be an assist from Dave over at the OG Blade Reviews channel. Either way, I appreciate it. I'm sorry it got lost to time, but I'm glad I was able to do the video today. So, for all the shout-outs and for my buddy Bob and Dave, thank you. As a thankful Thursday, and this is Byron from Splitting Slices saying split a slice with a friend soon. And until the next video, everybody, please enjoy this beautiful spring weather and take care.